This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Hallie E. Myers. Thank you, Hallie, so much for donating over at patreon.com/IHateHorror. If you can donate monetarily, that's the way to do it. Up next, our Halloween Spectacular, in which we discuss barely a Halloween movie. Phantom of the Megaplex, a Disney Channel original movie. So enjoy.
Paying attention in class, I was thinking about the adventures of Ash, about the misfortune of sitting kids at Crystal Lake. Became addicted straight away with the initial tape. God bless Betamax. VHS, holy like Amanda Kruger. I was introduced to genre flicks by Toby Hooper. I started craving more just like Larry the Looter. I collected VHS without commentary or bloopers. Store computers, magazines, a bunch of stores. Spent my money on movies and begged my mom for more. I'd watch the boys kill those Astro bastards 5 times a day or even more. I loved the gore. Lionel and Paquita combined their lonely hearts. I was hellbound, Cenobites tore my soul apart. I've seen them all, from Dracula to Vertigo. Listen up, welcome to The Horror Show with Sean and Joe.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Horror Show. Show dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror related events. Sean.
I'm Joe.
Oh, Joe. Disney Channel original Joe. So, oh boy, you really pulled one over on me for this one.
You didn't like it?
Ah, boy, this one was a tough. This one was tough. You know, it's weird. Like you very much watched these while they were airing, correct?
I did.
I did not watch any of these. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing until I think I met you. And then, like, Halloween Town, like, is beloved, and that is not a thing for, like, when you posted something on Instagram about Halloween Town. And I made a snide comment, and literally every comment after was like, already watched it, best movie ever.
Halloween Town is a Halloween classic.
I'd never even seen it. I had never even heard of it. It was not on my radar ever. So.
My wife is older than I am, so she had never seen it. I mean, I shouldn't have been watching these, let's be honest. But I finally showed it to her like 3 years ago, and now it's like a must watch during the season.
I mean, have you watched all the other sequels?
Of course I have.
Okay. Well, Phantom of the Megaplex was November 10th, 2000.
Yeah, I remember the premiere. I do.
This
was honestly like my favorite one.
That's crazy. It's considered one of the worst on most websites. Fun fact.
Is that true?
Yeah.
True?
I looked it up. E! Online has it listed as the 3rd worst Disney original channel ever.
What was the worst?
I think it was one of the Xenon. It was like Xenon 3, I think.
Well, that's stupid.
Not the sequel.
No, I know what you're talking about.
The trees is cool. So
what was second to last?
I don't remember. Joe, I don't remember. I don't even know half these movies.
Was it Horse Sense?
No.
Wait, what website did you say this was on?
This was on like E! Online.
E! Online, worst Disney.
They rank the best and the worst at the same time.
Channel original. All right, bear with me. This is
so
peak podcast.
Well, I'll tell a little bit about the movie. Phantom of the Megaplex. It was released November 10th, 2000. It wasn't even the Halloween movie this year. Did you know that?
No, what was the Halloween movie?
The Halloween movie was Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Oh, classic Caroline Rhea movie.
Yes. And then this one came out a few days later, like a couple weeks later, just after Halloween. So I don't know what was happening. I guess Mickey Rooney just needed a role.
Mickey Rooney is fantastic in this movie.
Are you sure about that?
When he sings that Hollywood song, it's giving it his all. Dude.
Oh my God. That was pretty unbearable for me. It was like one of the most depressing moments of my life, singing that in this fucking movie. And the only other person, and I shouldn't say of fame, but like the only person that I noticed was Corinne Bohrer, however you say that, who played Mitchell's mom in Under Wraps, another movie we covered.
Is that she's the mom in Under Wraps?
Yeah.
She's also in Police Academy.
Yes, she's actually in a bunch of stuff. She's a working actress.
So I'm on this site, and Under Wraps is rated the second worst Disney original.
Are you sure it's not the best? Second best?
No, it says the word worst.
Okay. Well, I guess you can't argue with that. So, Under Wraps was they changed to Disney Channel Originals in '97. Disney Channel Original movies in '97, and Under Wraps was the first Disney Channel Original movie ever. Prior to that, they were Disney Channel premiere films.
Okay. All right.
Then the order for the Halloween movies were Under Wraps, Halloween Town, Don't Look Under the Bed, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, Halloween Town 2, The Scream Team. I don't know. Oh, None in 2003, Halloween Town High, Twitches. Have you seen Twitches?
I have.
Oh my God, are you serious? That was 2005. You were in college.
Yeah, well, our buddy Mike watched. Dude, when I used to go home from college, Mike would be watching Phil of the Future. Like we'd have it like DVR'd for each episode.
Oh my God. Then it was Return to Halloween Town.
Yeah, but Twitches, wasn't that the one with the sister?
Tia and Tamari.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen Twitches, Joe.
I think it is.
It was 2005. Twitches 2, Girl vs. Monster, and Invisible Sister. And it seems that they've stopped. 2015 was the last Halloween movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A bunch of sellouts.
Which is stupid because one of their original movies is like this zombies show. It's like Zombie High School. But they release it in February. So perfect timing. It is stupid. It is stupid. E's rating was the third worst, and they had a comment that said the best part of this movie, a subpar Scooby-Doo type whodunit about determining who is under the titular spook's mask, was Mickey Rooney as the senile old man who thought he worked at the theater. The worst part, the rest of it. Scathing review. So that's what we got for Phantom of the Megaplex. The mouse won't let out that many other backstories, you know. They got that shit pretty locked tight. They don't need us blabbing about what went on behind the scenes. So why don't we just get into Phantom of the Megaplex, which, fun fact, there is no Phantom.
Or is there?
There's nothing supernatural about this film. It's not a Halloween movie.
But there's a tornado in the movie theater.
There's and also anyway. So it starts with this narration. It starts with narrating this kid.
Yes.
And they're talking about this guy who died inside of a movie theater in their town. But then the kid immediately cuts himself off and is like, yeah, right. Anyway, they built a new movie theater over his corpse. So you're like, holy shit, what the fuck? And this is Pete Riley, 17 years old, works at the movie theater, hardworking fella. And the one thing that drove me nuts about his narrating is he laughs, and he narrates for the first like 15 minutes. It's insane. But he laughs after every statement that he makes. And if you start listening for it, it will make you insane. It's like when you notice a sound and you're so hyper focused on it, it makes you like lose your mind. So he, after everything, he's like, yeah, I'm the youngest assistant manager. Responsibilities, am I right? And that is his narration for everything. He's introducing you to 37 different characters there.
They all have aliases.
Oh, every single one of them has a nickname. And he makes sure to tell you the nickname and make a little pun afterwards too. just as if the punny nickname wasn't enough. So we're introduced to Pete. Then we're introduced to Sean, the manager. Sean McGibbon. And then we don't meet, but we're introduced to this character, owner Wolfgang Niedermeyer.
Yes.
Is there a Disney movie that doesn't have an old guy named Niedermeyer?
Wolfgang and Niedermeyer are like go-to names.
I've never
just like smug, stupid assholes.
I've never once met a man with the last name Niedermeyer, or a woman for that matter. But for some reason, Disney has a plethora of characters with the name Niedermeyer, and I'm pretty sure they're always played by this guy. I'm pretty sure this guy plays them in every fucking movie. And yeah, we meet 1,000 characters. Just they literally introduce you to every staff member.
To be honest, none of them matter.
0 of them matter. They're all stupid. They're all annoying. It's insane. Except one character, Movie Mason.
Old Mickey Rooney.
Old Mickey Rooney plays a character named Movie Mason.
Dude, he survived for like another 20 years after this movie.
Which is insane. He looks ill.
He looks... I thought that the entire time, like, holy shit, this guy lasted for way longer than anyone should have expected after looking at him in this movie.
He did not look well in this film. I feel bad, but it's just the facts. It's just the facts. And we learned that Movie Mason, he owned the original movie theater where a man was murdered, and now just shows up to work every day, but not getting paid. And like hands Sean, the current manager, like a schedule every week. It's like, oh, here's my schedule, and Sean throws it in the trash in front.
Throws it out while he's watching.
And Sean belittles him like constantly, which I mean, Mickey
Sean
Rooney
is over the top mean to this guy.
He is, but Mickey Rooney is just like, he's just always there. And honestly, Mickey Rooney's kind of an asshole later. But we'll wait till we get there. We'll wait. I don't want to spoil that surprise. Mickey Rooney heel turn halfway through. Because I would have honestly punched Mickey Rooney in the face. We also are introduced to Caitlin Kerrigan, who's this girl that Pete is attracted to. And again, not really part of the story. You think she's going to be, but she's really not. She's just, you'll see her later in the movie, and that's really it. And we meet Sean is lecturing everyone, the manager, and he's telling everyone, Mr. Niedermeyer called, and we've got a premiere tonight, a premiere of this movie. So everything's got to go off without a hitch, and all of this. And meanwhile, we also learned
the movie's called Midnight Mayhem, and all the actors are supposed to be like showing up for this premiere,
right?
This Megaplex. Right.
And I think they were like making fun of Melissa Joan Hart or Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think they were just making fun of all the people with 3 names, because the female's character, the star of the movie, has 3 names, and everyone gets them wrong all the time. And they're like kind of playing off of that. And then there's a action star that's also in it that's showing up. And we also learned, though, that Niedermeyer is giving his son-in-law the job of GM of the theater, which really upsets Sean. And if you can figure out the rest of the plot based on that, I understand, because I also did. It was very clear what was happening the moment that they exposed this information. It's honestly insane. Well, back at home, though, old Pete goes home, and we meet his mom and his 2 obnoxious siblings, who I thought were going to be the throwaway characters and are not.
No, Karen and Brian.
And they are basically the stars of the movie, besides Pete, who I just wanted to strangle because he's like teenage girl eye candy. Like, that's all he is.
Oh, you think he's a stud?
I mean, I don't think so, but why else was he on screen? Because he does nothing the whole movie. The whole movie is him cleaning up messes. It's honestly infuriating to watch. It was really
It is true. There's a lot of screen time of him just like sweeping.
just cleaning and being like, oh man, I gotta stock the straws. It's fucking insane. And meanwhile, the siblings are like, hey, I'm pretty sure there's a phantom in here, so let's figure that out. While Pete, just does his job.
The little brother is almost unbearable.
Yo, he's brutal. He's actually brutal.
He makes sound effects with his fucking mouth. Like he's on screen going dun dun dun. Like
Also, that kid will accuse a man of being the Phantom later, and he's so rude about it. The guy's like, I'm not the Phantom. And meanwhile, the Phantom is doing stuff in front of the...
You can see him, yeah.
And that kid is like, you're the Phantom, you piece of shit.
Dude, that guy handles that phenomenally.
Dude, I would have strangled that kid.
That kid is talking reckless to him.
Dude, that kid could get somebody killed saying shit like that. It's fucking crazy. Also, that guy's like trying to fix the projector, and the kid's like, why else would you be up here? And he's like, so I could get that off the screen.
Yeah, because the thing is looping over and over again.
Kid's like, likely story.
But honestly, you know what? Now that I'm saying this out loud, I side with the kid because that guy's a fucking idiot. It was just a reel, and he couldn't figure out how to stop it. Just take it off. Just take the fucking reel off.
Also, are reels that gigantic? Why was that reel like double decker?
That reel was huge. I don't know. I've never seen one, but I mean, again, it seems very easy to stop playing.
In the year 2000, I think we should have that figured out by now. Reel to reels. Like literally, all you could do.
That guy talked and looked like a mechanic.
Just cut the film.
Yeah, no, but Sean, literally anything. I'm sure there's
it's not the movie. Just destroy the film.
Right.
Some asshole put it on there. But there's a lot to this where that
it's got to be plugged in. You just unplug it.
Well, these kids are going to the movies because they really want to see University of Death. So they want their brother to take them to the movies where he works. And we also learned that their dad is dead. or do we? I don't even know what happened, but they don't really explain that. But they're like, oh boy, Dad loved the movies, didn't he? So,
yeah, I think you should assume he's dead.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And the mom's like, I wonder if that's why you're working at the movie theater. Like, are you serious, woman? Like, get this kid in therapy. Like, obviously that's why he's working at the movie theater. Like, this kid needs to see a therapist. He needs some help. So they want to go see University of Death. Oh, and also there's this side storyline that I thought was going to be massive, and it's not. But these kids love... Dude, all the Disney Channel original movies, now that I think about it, they're always divorced parents.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Anyway, but these kids are like, man, I can't wait for you to marry Greg.
Which Greg makes an appearance for about 3 minutes in this movie.
It's insane. And also, why are these kids so excited?
He offers nothing and he helps resolve nothing.
It's zero to everything here. Nothing makes sense. But the mom tells Pete, she's really worried that he's going to be burned out by the time he hits 30. For some reason, all I could think about is your dad in that situation and what he would say to like being worried about a kid working too hard.
He'd honestly be mad about the amount of downtime this kid had.
Like, why are you home in the middle of the day?
Yeah. He would. I work 3 jobs.
I have a note here that says, let's talk about how fucking bizarre Mickey Rooney looks, but I think we covered that. He doesn't look well. It's very odd.
I can't stop like this whole time for the last 20 minutes. I've just been like on and off giggling to myself, thinking about him singing that song.
Dude, it's like so like
it's so devoid of emotion.
Yes, that's the perfect way to explain. That's so funny. I was trying to think of the right words for it. It's like soulless.
He sings the entire thing.
It's so funny. It's just like, hooray for Hollywood. Like, he's got this like smile painted on his face, but it's not legitimate. And good old Mickey Rooney, they give him the honor of being a ticket taker with no pay. With no pay.
Such an insult. With a slap in the face.
Dude, and he's begging to do it. Like, they need help so bad. Like, first of all, this is like the most crowded movie theater of all time. And then Mickey Rooney's like, I can help. Like, people are they're going up to the manager being like, you need to get us help. We need somebody to help us. And Mickey Rooney's like, I'll help. The guy's like, oh, Jesus Christ, no.
And Sean's like, I thought I told you to get the fuck out of here.
By the way, it's so much funnier to do the Disney dialogue the way it should be, because like it's so obviously censored, obviously. But like, absolutely. Like, if Sean were a real person, he'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ. You again? Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, there are times when Mickey Rooney is honestly being very helpful, and Sean will just show up and be like an inch away from him and be like, what the fuck are you still doing here?
Dude, when Mickey Rooney sings Hello for Hollywood, all he's doing is entertaining all the people waiting to get inside. And they're clapping and singing along, and Sean comes out and is like, get the fuck off my property.
Honestly, this time I side with Sean, though.
Oh, I side with him, honestly, the whole time. Because Mickey's finally like, he's like, listen, fine. You can be the ticket taker. And then it like cuts a little bit, and then we come back to Mickey Rooney, who's screaming at people, trying to get into a movie. And he's like, that movie is a stinker. And not allowing them to go see it.
Yeah, no, he's a nightmare. I'm Team Sean all the way.
Yeah, Sean is right. And then Sean's like, and Sean
like really gives it to him, and then Mickey's like, well, here's my famous actress friend. It's just like, why didn't you just tell him that in the first fucking place?
Dude,
dumb shit.
The actress is from the town. Everyone knows her. Like, it's so stupid. But so Mickey Rooney's like screaming at people, being like, you can't come into the movie. This movie is terrible. And the people are like, I just want to see the movie. I don't care what you think. And he's like, go see this Emmy Award winning film instead. And then Sean fires Mason, and rightfully so.
But he doesn't technically work there.
Yeah, right. He's like, please fucking leave. This guy is just a weird ass old lunatic. And takes the longest goodbye escalator ride of all time. Just waving at the siblings of Pete, who are coming in and are like, I can't believe they just did that. Old movie Mason. Oh, God.
What about that fucking sad sack girl that always talks about people dying?
Dude.
And she always looks like she just sucked on a lemon.
I mean, the supporting cast is rough. And they serve no other purpose other than to make you miserable. Just all of them. Because there's one his name's Mark, because his nickname is ? Because he asks you a question. No matter what you say to him, he asks it back to you.
Right.
And there are people in this world that do that, and it's infuriating. And you get this guy the entire movie, and he never breaks that character. It's not, they don't say it and then forget about it. He asks questions the entire fucking movie of statements you just heard. It's fucking nuts. But this scene that happens right now made me so insane. I almost turned it off. I was like, I think I need to do this tomorrow. I was sick. I wasn't feeling well. And then there's this scene where one of the guys spills candy all over the floor. It is gallons of M&Ms all over the floor. Fucking like 2 tons of M&Ms. And everyone starts slipping and throwing their popcorn everywhere. The place is trash. There's shit everywhere. So Pete's like,
and Pete shows up, and instead of just cleaning it like a normal human being, he wastes so much fucking time by slapshotting one M&M at a time into a garbage can.
He puts a garbage can on his side, like street hockey style, and grabs a hockey stick from like a display and just starts slap-shotting M&Ms into it. And the crowd is cheering for him. And all I could think about is what a fucking mess that would make, because there's no way you could do that. I almost want to do it on film just to prove a point, because it would just spray M&Ms everywhere.
It would go everywhere, and he's hitting one at a time, Sean, somehow, defying physics. And that is the least like efficient way of cleaning anything I've ever seen in my entire life.
And especially this, because this isn't just like I spilled a box of M&Ms. There's literally M&Ms strewn across the floor. And everyone's cheering him on, and this scene lasts so long.
It's shot weird too. It like slows down at times.
It's insane. It's so painful. And everyone's like, yeah. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Oh God. And this is what I mean. Like, Pete's just eye candy in this movie. He's done nothing. Although, to be fair, nothing has happened in this movie, and nothing happens in this movie till at least halfway through.
So again, I didn't hate it, and I'll stand by enjoying it when I was younger. But watching it recently, there's nothing that happened.
And I mean, yeah,
the entire time.
Yeah, and it's hard to make fun of a Disney movie, because obviously their demographic wasn't two jerks making fun of it on a podcast. That's not their demographic. Two 32-year-old men being like, "Oh man, how did he slap shot M&Ms?" But like, at some point, somebody should have had to have just been like, "Hey man, this is so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable."
Yeah, but I mean, it worked because me and my brothers loved this movie.
Oh my God, yeah. Maybe it was Mickey Rooney. Maybe you guys. But like, that's the other thing. Why is Mickey Rooney in this movie? Like, attracting the youth demographic.
That is a good point. There's nobody like my brother's age group in the year 2000 that knew who Mickey Rooney was.
Dude, I barely did. Like, I fucking barely did. Oh man. So, yeah, him and his girlfriend have this weird, painful conversation. That's just like, the one thing that's interesting about movies, watching them now, is like these teen movies. I actually noticed it in Goosebumps recently. I think that was like the most recent teenage movie that I had seen, like young teenage movie. The romance stories between these kids is just so weird to watch. It's weird and it's interesting. You know what I mean? It's obviously not for our age. Like, we don't understand it, but it's just funny to watch that stuff. And I when I was watching Goosebumps, the newest one, I just remember being like, oh, that's so weird. Because they can only go so far, right?
Right. I know exactly what you mean.
It's just this weird thing. Like in Goosebumps.
It's just like you have to tread a line so like tightly.
Yes, yes.
To tell the love story.
Yes, and it's very much just like, hey, I like her, and no kissing, and just like I want to hold her hand. Like, that's
right.
It's just very odd. It's very odd, especially because you know what these kids are up to in 2018. I see your fucking Instagrams, kids. All you talk about is eating ass and you know. Blowing each other. I don't know what you guys are doing.
The fuck Instagrams are you looking at?
I don't know. I watch World Star and they post it all. You know what I'm saying?
I do, I guess.
All right. Anyway, I feel like I'm gonna get arrested for this conversation. Okay, so we have this love story, and it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't matter at all. But finally, we start getting, I guess, what is considered phantom activity, which is just incompetent employees fucking shit up and really just not being able to fix problems. And then the little brother showing up and being like, the phantom strikes again.
He says it just like that while holding a finger up in the air.
Yes, dude, I was doing that while I said it. So like the pop.
It's always a fucking revelation. Also, the whole Phantom like backstory is it's like never even told.
Oh, no.
It's just like glossed over until this kid just keeps shoving it down your throat.
It's exactly
Like,
right.
it must be the Phantom. You're like, oh, I guess there's a Phantom.
I guess that's what we're watching.
I don't know. I don't know why there's a Phantom in that theater or why he knows about that.
It's insane. It's honestly insane. So like the popcorn machine is making popcorn and it won't stop. Again, just unplug it. Like, it's literally all you have to do.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God. And then the kid shows up and it's just like, the Phantom strikes again. And you're like,
And I mean,
what?
for anyone that's about to yell at us about this Disney movie, I'm well aware that in the beginning they talked about the guy that died. Like, we mentioned that too. So he's the Phantom, but like, I just don't like.
But he's not the Phantom.
They never. No, I know that, and they never like really go into like the legend of it. They just tell you that in the beginning, and you would have forgotten about it unless this kid didn't say it every 2 fucking seconds.
You're correct, and I mean, I even said that at the beginning. Even the guy who explains it is like, yeah, right. He goes, well, some people say a guy died in there. Yeah, right. Anyway, our new movie theater's there, and it's great. That's the backstory. So even your main character isn't even like, yeah, man, I kind of believe it. He's just like, yeah, that's it. And pff, what a joke. But again, he's right because it doesn't exist. Yeah, and the Phantom won't show up until like the end of the fucking movie. So just a bunch of weird shit happens. Yeah. So the brother finally tells him, though, the little brother finally grabs Pete and is like, hey guys, this is the Phantom of the Megaplex. Oh, and we actually do see the Phantom now, but you only see his eyes and his laugh because he's standing behind a cardboard cutout with his eyes coming through, and he's just like, whoa. Wow.
And when you think about the ending, that's even more ridiculous.
See, the ending is so fucking absurd. Like, and you know what? I guess there is a reason to criticize this movie, though, and pick apart a Disney movie, because Disney makes very good movies. And I would argue even Mr. Boogedy isn't bad. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Boogedy's stupid or whatever, but it has like a probably too in-depth backstory. But reasons for the characters and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and this movie, like the ending, you're just like, wait, what the fuck was that? Like, what did I just watch? What did I waste my time watching?
Well, what I'm saying, so spoiler alert, there's not a real Phantom. It's one of the guys. So I always love scenes where there's like a cardboard cutout and then the eyes open, because it just means that guy was just like going out of his way to stand behind that.
And like the shit he was doing was so preventable. It was all so weird. Like, it was all so weird. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Anyway, so they decide. Well,
Sean goes missing. And Niedermeyer's trying to like get in touch with him because he's on his way.
Right, and
so they find Sean.
Well,
and he's
first,
tied up in the basement.
I need to say one thing before they find Sean, because there is a scene, and it's useless to this entire fucking movie, but I just have to say it because my blood was boiling, and it's so that girl went to go see University of Death, which is an R-rated film, so she snuck in, her and her friends, and in the middle of the movie, like the friends are sitting there, and one of her friends stands up and says something, like, I forget her name, but she's like, my name's Caroline, and I love Phil. Like in the middle of a movie, and my blood has never boiled so much for a fake scene thinking about it being real. Like, I fucking hate loud people in a movie theater, and thinking about a 13-year-old girl standing up in the middle of like the new Halloween and saying that, I would have honestly went down there and beat the shit out of her probably.
I would have been very mad too. There's actually a guy in this scene who's in front of her. The guy's never seen again, but he turns around and he's like, "You shut the fuck." like it almost made me think that this was like unscripted and they're actually watching a movie, because that guy might be the best actor in this whole movie.
Dude, he is. He's so mad. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" And this scene has nothing to do with anything, but it just made my blood boil. But anyway, yes. Merle, the projectionist, confirms they're being sabotaged. They can't find Sean. Also, Merle confirms that based on nothing. Just an FYI. Merle's just like the kids go up there and they're like, "Hey, I think we're being sabotaged." And Merle's like, "Hey, guess what? we are. And the kids are like, I knew it. And Merle's like, yup. And that's basically what we get out of it. So they go to look for Sean. And they find him tied up in the basement. Bound and gagged.
Without giving a spoiler, he is very much tied up. Which is alarming.
Yeah.
And impressive.
Yeah. It's but he doesn't know who did it. He doesn't know. Oh boy. So the siblings are like, hey, let's solve this crime of the Phantom of the Megaplex. Like they actually announced this. They like they're like, hey, I think we should solve this crime. And then they start realizing all the troubles in every theater relate.
They have to do with the movie titles.
Right. So it's very clever.
So there's one movie called Cyclone Summer. And a tornado erupts. Tornado force winds erupt within that theater. And it's like blowing people over. But you can see the fan, like the Phantom just put a big fan there.
The Phantom.
No way. That fan wouldn't even cool down my bedroom.
Absolutely not. The Phantom moved these fans into the theater and turned them on. But my biggest problem with this is that is the most elaborate, large-scale prank. Literally everyone walking into the theater should have been like, hey, why are these fucking fans here? And somebody would have had to turn them on. Dude, the winds are so high from the fans that they're blowing people out of the movie theater.
I know. Literally tornado force winds. Sean, this movie's awesome.
Oh my God. Like, how would the Phantom even, whatever. The Phantom's setting these things up. And it's also funny because we know these things exist. Like, all of these things exist in the theater they're supposed to be there for the celebration. So like earlier in the movie, they were like, where's the fans to blow, I forget, like confetti or whatever. So all these things actually do tie in, but very loosely. And again, he has to move these things into the theater to cause the problems.
Well, we see him moving the fans, don't we? Isn't that when they're up in the projection?
Oh yeah. That is you're no. When he's up in the projection, they see him setting up like a like a giant setup of like hoses and shit, and like literally all they have to do is go down and deconstruct it.
Because he's moving so slow, and they all make eye contact. He's just like lurking behind.
It's amazing. Sean thinks Movie Mason's to blame for all this.
Yeah, it's a solid red herring.
Yeah,
He's been wronged.
Except
to own it.
Movie Mason can't tie his fucking shoes, let alone set up all these elaborate sabotage plots.
It would take movie Mason so long to move those fans.
There's no chance. This guy 100% wears Velcro shoes. So the kids are still trying to solve this, which is weird because it's definitely one person. And they find this weird ass area in the theater, like a weird side room, and it's Movie Mason's homemade office
in the movie theater. It does not work in.
It's his home in the movie theater, and Movie Mason proceeds to go on a 45-minute fucking monologue about movie magic that I don't know a word about, but he's just like, boy, the movie theaters are magic. And I would never do anything like sabotage a movie theater. It goes on forever. I honestly tuned out and came back and he was still talking about it. It was infuriating. Also, I couldn't believe this movie was an hour and 20 minutes.
You thought it was longer?
No. It just. I was just impressed that Disney Channel original movies were like full length. I was honestly expecting it to be like 45 minutes to an hour.
Huh. Yeah, no, they probably could have trimmed 20 minutes off of this.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, sure. I mean, they could have trimmed like an hour off of it. and told the same story. But like, I get it. I understand its purpose. So
all I can think of is Movie Mason pitching to that guy that made Manos: The Hands of Fate, telling him that movie magic will just fix everything and post it.
oh my god, that's where Manos got the idea from.
Yeah. Just Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney was still 150 years old at the time of Manos. Fuck. Oh god. Okay, so Movie Mason does that. Then we meet Tori Hicks, who is the agent or manager of the two stars, who I guess are sitting in their limousine outside. And they've lost Sean again. Can you imagine that? Like, guys, you don't have to give us all the clues to. Yeah. This main character, though, this kid Pete, is a real hardo, though. He's honestly kind of the bad guy in the movie. Because the two siblings are the ones doing the footwork on this. Pete is still running around doing work, and Pete encounters his like bully, I guess, the guy that likes his girlfriend. He's not even particularly a bully, and he won a contest fair and square to pull the sword from a stone. Right. Like the kid has the sword out, and he's like, "Hey, I won this contest. That means I get into the premiere." And this little kid is such a fucking hardo, this kid Pete. And he's like, "That's it, get out of my theater." He's like, "You're not getting the passes." I was like, yo, this kid's a fucking chump.
I mean, he won it fair and square. I don't know what Pete's beef was.
Pete's like obsessed with this chick. Pete's a weird guy. I don't like Pete very much. I think I'm more on this guy's side, whatever this bully's name was.
Are you sure? Because the guy was a fucking chode too.
I mean, they're all chodes. I think I'm just in Movie Mason's corner.
No, you're not. Stop it.
Well, next is a fire alarm gets pulled. The next big prank. And the kids think Merle is now the guy because, again, the Midnight Mayhem trailer is just running over and over and over again. And they're like, only Merle can do that. And while that kid is violently accusing the projectionist, like we were talking about earlier, like he's like, "You piece of shit, you did this." The real Phantom is downstairs in a stupid robe, setting up this like whatever it is in plain view.
And again, literally everyone in that room, including the projectionist, all see him. And nobody stops him.
And he's like, "If we want to know what he's planning to do to Midnight Mayhem, like, we got to figure out what's in Midnight Mayhem." Guys, he's literally setting it up in front of you. All you have to do is take it apart. Whatever pieces he puts down, just lift them up and move them.
Instead, they go and look up the plot on the internet.
And Sean has been bound and gagged in his office again, which, again, very impressive. So yeah, so they just need to dismantle it. They find Sean bound and gagged, and Niedermeyer shows up, and it's the guy that plays like Niedermeyer in every Disney movie. That weird skinny guy. Oh, I think he's in Mallrats too, right? No.
Who would he be in Mallrats?
I thought he was. Fuck! Now it's gonna drive me nuts what he's in, because he's always the guy that gives. I thought he was the dad. No, but he's not the dad. The girl's dad in it.
Michael Rooker?
Oh boy, I don't know. Wait, is Niedermeyer also in Animal House? There's
a character's name in Animal House.
Yeah. I just want to see what he's in. Which is crazy because I was looking at this. His name's Colin Fox.
He's in My Pet Monster.
Yes. He's in Tommy Boy. Yep. Okay. God damn, this guy. And he's still working in 2017, unless he's dead. No, he's alive. Thank God. You just need a guy like this around. Mall.
Are you sure?
Perhaps not. He's not in Mallrats, so perfect. Okay. Man, this guy works, dude. Some of these actors, I just love looking at their thing because they just work nonstop.
Yeah, but look who he's playing.
I know, but I know it sucks. But like, like
Spy Z.
But dude, he
Nature
like
D.
works like bullshit shit, and he's probably making like a decent living.
So does Sinloke.
Well, I don't think Sinloke is making a decent living.
Yeah, they're on the same level.
No, Sinloke plays like inmate number 1.
Dude, that's what this guy's playing.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. Look at the character names.
Oh well, look at that.
Shopkeeper. Large head. Trustee number 1.
Okay.
Same level as Sinloke.
Okay, we got to get Sinloke on here too.
I know. I've tried.
We could
He's
definitely.
making that bank now.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'll shoot him an email right now.
So Niedermeyer is here, and he's like,
Wait, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Next week, I'm going to go meet Ice-T.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about Sin, because I know he knows Sinloke.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Show him my Joe Locat and see if we can get Sinloke on the line.
That would be amazing. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Also, that crocodile video, bring that up to him.
See if he knows what I'm talking about.
Dude,
Also,
I hope he's like,
It's an alligator. It's an alligator. You ignorant fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that'd be his response.
dude, if it is, oh my god, I would honestly be able to die happy if he said that to you. So, Niedermeyer shows up, right?
Yeah.
And what happens next? I still don't really completely understand. So,
Well, there's balloons up top that are clearly floating with helium, but they also have like water in it. So somehow.
and for some reason, there's a premiere, but they're not letting people in, so everyone's just outside waiting. I don't understand it really, but they all come in, and then the balloons, like Joe said, they're like floating.
Well, they're not letting the people in because so much shit is happening inside.
Okay, but
Like everything's going crazy, so they're trying to get everything straightened out.
well, that seems like a losing battle, but sure. So, and then there's balloons at the top of the ceiling that they're going to drop, but they're filled with water. And then,
So they do drop. The guy that's with Niedermeyer, who's like a director,
he's the son-in-law.
the son-in-law, the guy who plays him is phenomenal.
Oh, wait, the bald guy? Or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the actor. Or maybe it is the director. Maybe you're right. That might be the director.
Yeah, it's the director. Carlo Rota is the actor.
Okay, yeah. His son-in-law is the other skinny wimp in the
He's
suit.
always like smacking his lips, and he has the most smug look on his face at all times.
It's so smug. And they all get so...
That guy gets hit with so much water, and he doesn't flinch once. Like it was amazing.
Also, if that happened to me, I'd fucking leave immediately. I would get the fuck in my car and leave.
Of course you would.
Oh, boy. And then it cuts to Mickey Rooney outside, who's singing Hooray for Hollywood. While all of this is happening. And Sean goes out there and is like, hey, pal, get the fuck out of here. And then while this is happening, the star of the movie, Miss whatever her name is, comes out and she's like, hello, friend. And she's talking to Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, and Sean's like, I didn't know. She's like, I'm here with my date.
She's like, I grew up in this town. I know Movie Mason from when I was a child. It's like, this is getting fucking bizarre. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So the kids are still trying to figure out what the final prank would be instead of just going into the theater and dismantling it. They go on the roof to try and find these missing balloons. And while they're on the roof, the Phantom's just sneaking around like a dickhead, just like scurrying around like a cartoon character.
This is very much a live action Scooby-Doo.
It really is. It really is. Like he's tiptoeing and you hear like ding, 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 ding. And he puts a sheet over him and ties him up. And they're like, what the heck? Also, can we just say who it is, who the Phantom is?
Yeah, of course you could.
Okay, so the Phantom is Sean, the manager, obviously. But this guy would serve probably some pretty serious jail time for tying up children on a roof.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, that's fucking...
Endangering and kidnapping a minor.
Yeah, that's like imprisonment, like false imprisonment. Like, this guy is going to jail for what he just did. Like, this is not... This is not just disturbing the peace. He just tied up 3 children. Well, the kids can't save the time, so the Phantom strikes again. And he inflates the balloons inside the movie theater. And they're balloons of a dinosaur, which begins eating people somehow, but not really, just putting its balloon mouth on people.
Yeah, just like irritating their skin.
But everyone's screaming like they're being eaten. All the moviegoers are like, "Oh my God." I mean, I'd be super irritated, but there's usually exits at the back of the movie theater.
I mean, it seems like you could puncture that pretty easily.
Well, literally, you could just tear through it. It's cloth. Just rip it in half. But the balloons are blocking the exit, and the kid comes in with the fucking sword. And pops the balloons. Or no, I don't even think he does. He just kind of like rolls around on it and then starts fighting the Phantom behind the screen. He catches him, unmasks him, and it's our buddy Sean.
Who's just mostly mad that the guy can't remember his name correctly.
Oh, yeah. Niedermeyer's like, he says his last name incorrectly. And Sean's like, that's why I did this. It's like, Jesus Christ. And then that guy that was going to propose to his mom, well, that's back. We haven't seen him all movie. But now he's here to propose to the mom. But he doesn't have a ring. But luckily, Movie Mason has a ring. Which he doesn't even let the poor guy pretend that it's a real ring and part of the plan. And Mickey Rooney's like, yeah, it's this prop ring. I've always got them.
This fucking idiot accepts his proposal. What a fucking nightmare proposal.
At a movie theater that's just been torn to shreds. And then Niedermeyer, being Niedermeyer, says, yeah, Pete, I think you should be the senior manager. And Pete turns him down because Pete has learned to be a kid. This is the message of the movie, I think, is to not take your job so seriously and just be a kid.
Right. Yeah.
It's a terrible lesson. And Niedermeyer's like, oh, you're right. And then just gives him money for breakfast, which I also don't quite understand, which it might have been like, you and that girl are going to fuck, and here's money for breakfast in the morning.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, why else is he giving him breakfast money for the two of them?
They're very underage. I don't think that's what Niedermeyer was thinking.
Oh, well, he's 17.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. I just don't think that's what Niedermeyer was
Oh,
hoping.
yeah, I mean, I also hope Niedermeyer wasn't, but yeah. So Pete learns to be a kid, and then his final act as a great big brother is to convince his mom that the little kids should stay out late. And it's honestly one of the most adult conversations I've ever heard a kid have. He's like, listen, Mom, they've been through a lot, and I just really think they deserve a nice night out. Like, literally talking like a man. And he just needs to chill the fuck out. So my notes just froze. So I don't know if there's anything else.
There's not. Mickey Rooney, Movie Mason walks in with the fucking idiot sad sack girl. And it's like, of course the Phantom was bullshit. And then proceeds to start talking about the werewolf of the Megaplex.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, boy. Setting up for the sequel that did not happen.
I would watch that. The werewolf of the Megaplex?
Well, why would you? Because it's not real and it's just going to be some guy.
Well, I'm curious to see who it would be.
Probably Sean again. If I had to take a guess, probably Sean. Yeah, and that's it. The werewolf of the Megaplex. So, guys, that was Phantom of the Megaplex. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
What are you going to watch for Halloween?
Halloween.
You've probably told me that on like every Halloween episode. I don't know what I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch something stupid though. I've watched a lot of stupid movies. I watched The Mummy. I watched The Mummy today.
Which one?
The original 1932.
Okay.
You want to know something about that movie? There's no fucking mummy in it. Dude, the mummy shows up for like 2.5 seconds at the end. And you're like, oh.
I'm well aware. I watched it like last year.
Fucking nightmare.
I thought the same thing. It's more of just like an archaeologist movie.
It absolutely is. It's just a lot of mythology. They're just reading fucking ancient texts and being like, oh boy. Oh,
yeah,
God.
but the Universal ride's pretty cool.
It is. That was a great ride. Joe turned me on to that. But
yeah, you were very mad at me for almost all of it until the end. You're like, wow, that was cool.
that was amazing ride. That ride was fucking amazing. That was fucking great. Anyway, well, you know, when Brendan Fraser's on the fucking picture, you know, you're hesitant.
Come on,
You're just hesitant.
You wouldn't go on an Encino Man ride?
What? No. Pauly Shore just screaming in your face.
I'd go on that in a second.
That would be such a fucking nightmare. I'd have such a headache.
I kind of want this to be real now.
All right, so boy, we got some picks here. You know what? Why don't we keep the spirit alive next week? Because we do have some shit to this guy. Yeah, we'll keep. Why don't we keep the Halloween spirit alive next week? Boy, these are tough. We're gonna keep the spirit alive, I think, here, and we're gonna do Halloween 6 next week.
Halloween 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's between that and Halloween 4, and the other ones we've already covered. Well, have we done The Prowler?
No, I just watched that. It's fantastic.
It is a really good movie. I think I'd rather talk about Halloween 6 with Paul Rudd.
I think I would too.
Okay, so there.
Paul
there you
Rudd's
go.
best role.
We fucking hate ourselves, and that's the lesson of this show.
Halloween 6 isn't that bad.
I don't know. I just watched 4 and 5, and I've never been. I fucking hated every second of it. But that's
You really didn't like 4? You didn't have fun?
no.
You didn't have fun at 4?
No.
Come on.
Yeah, dude.
Loomis's face?
I don't need Daniel Harris and Loomis's like painted on turd on his face.
Dude, Loomis's face is alone a 3-star movie. He was blown up in part 2 and he's still fucking back.
Dude,
Loomis
he's
is
just got like
as immortal as Michael Myers.
He's just got like a scratch on his face. It's unbelievable. All right. Anyway, so that's the end of this episode. Thank you all so much for supporting Facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com. And if you leave us a review on iTunes, send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll send you some free stickers in the mail.
Rad.
And I'm at I Hate Horror on Instagram.
I'm at Boognish 1985.
Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, so that's it. Next week, Halloween 6. So, for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
Dissect. Movies all fucking day.
Wanna play?
I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch.
Dismember.
A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced. A monster.
Mutilate. And butcher. That's it, guys.